Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's time for another color combination sharing. I guess that's the word. So we are working on Inktense, and like I said, I'm trying to do one per week. I think I accidentally skipped last week and these were already done, but that was my bad. So we have a full sheet of greens. I could have actually made a second sheet and I'll probably work on that, but I wanted to give you guys something to get started. Now the green blank sheet and then the scanned version of this one filled out are all in my Ko-fi shop. They are free. You have the option, of course, to donate, to the cause. You don't have to, but I do appreciate it. Funny thing about Ko-fi though, if you give someone $1, they charge a 50-cent fee, but if you give them $4, they also charge just barely over 50 cents. So I may have to move this project somewhere because a lot of you, put like $1, and any money, of course, I absolutely appreciate. So don't think I'm not saying that, but I just found it odd because I was like, gosh, I'd have so many people donate $1 and 50 cents goes to them. So it's weird how they work that fee. And it's on PayPal's side, unfortunately. But anyway, I have quite a few for you. I've got some earthy ones and more olivey ones, which are more my favorite type of thing. And then I also have some of the brighter greens. We do have a lot of yellows that we mix into. We have some browns. I have somewhere some Payne's gray mixed in, some blues mixed in. Like I said, I'll probably make another sheet, but this is a good one if you're a beginner. And speaking of that, I wanted to demo it. All of these are beginner friendly. I specifically designed the combo so that if you activate them and follow them in that order, it's really hard to mess up. So I wanted to show you that. We're going to take, I feel like doing something bright because it's like spring. So let's do this one, jungle green, apple green, and lime green. And then we're just going to work on a little page in the Whimsical Gnomes book. I'll leave links and all that in the description below to everything, even my favorite Tombos. I'm starting to love these more than Kiritaki. I wish they weren't so expensive, but really, with all the Inktense I've been working on, I've had a lot of success. So let's get that. Okay, so I decided to actually switch to my Magical Jungle book because I keep meaning to do a color along in here anyway. So we're going to color this little leaf here. Now I'm going in the order that they are on my sheet. So I'm going to start with my jungle. And always remember to use light pressure with Inktense. The more you put down, the more concentrated they are. But here's the thing, they dry, you can layer them up. You can even go back over with the dry pencil to shade and like add your shadows. But once you've activated them, you cannot take it away. And these aren't as muted as watercolor pencils. So it's really important to keep that in mind when you're using Inktense. Don't treat them exactly like a watercolor pencil. Less is more. You can always add on. And then, like I said, you could always go back with a dry pencil and add your shading. Okay, so now we've got our apple green, which was next in the combo. Now I place mine down dark to light, but when it goes to activating, you'll need to activate light to dark. But I naturally color dark to light, so that's why I'll put mine down in that order. But unfortunately, you cannot activate them that way because you'll end up dragging your dark color right over everything else. Now you can activate these with a Tombow clear colorless blender marker, water-based, or a colorless alcohol marker. You can also use a paintbrush. I have a whole video on the various ways. This is lime green, by the way, and this is one of the new pencils, as is Jungle. So you'll need the 100 count set for this combo specifically, but there's plenty in my combo series that aren't just including ones from the 100 count. Okay. But yeah, I have a whole video on activating Inktense, so you can watch that. I'll try to remember to put it as an end screen. All right, so we're gonna activate down here. Now, you never want your Inktense, your brush super wet. Like if it's leaving a puddle, then you need to wipe it off. Inktense does not require a lot of water, which is why you can activate it and get good results with colorless blending markers. Whereas with watercolor pencils, it doesn't always work. Inktense are very vibrant. And then what I do here is when I get down in here, I just kind of scumble. It's like this little dot, dot, dot motion so that I can kind of blend it out a little. And get that one scumbled in. Okay. Then we'll activate here. And then I'll even show you, using that same combo, how you can go back and add a little shading. Because like I said, sometimes the color's just not there. You could do a second layer. You know, some papers can't do too many layers. You can easily do second layer on this paper here from Johanna Basford's books. Kirby Rosanis, you could do a second layer. But sometimes you don't want a second layer. It's like you just want to add a little bit of one color. So you have a few things. You could wait for it to dry or use a handy dandy heat tool from Ranger and dry it yourself and save yourself some waiting time. You can use a blow dryer for this. The difference is this heat tool is not blowing. Like, it is obviously blowing lightly with a fan, some air, but it's not blowing like a hair dryer. So when you use it on watercolor pencils and Inktense, it's fine, but be careful about using a hair dryer on watercolors because it actually can move the watercolors. Okay, make sure it's always dry before you go back in. And then in this case, I'm just taking my jungle green and I'm just gonna add some shading down the center while dry. So keep that in mind with these combos. You can go back in and take your darker color and add some shading. Like maybe you feel like, it's not quite as dark as I want it. And that's the beauty of Inktense. These really do need to be activated though. I don't recommend just sitting here always using them dry. I use them dry to just shade, but they're just so beautiful and they're meant to be activated. So I can't just leave them dry. But in a case like this, where I want to add just a little bit more of my green shading, that's okay because I'm just kind of enhancing what's already there. And see? Just added a little bit more. You could do it with any color. But that's it, guys. These are beginner-friendly combinations. I will be doing a whole different series on complicated combos with Inktense because Inktense has quite the learning curve, especially if you start blending colors that ultimately would turn into mud, such as purple and green, because I was tempted to throw in some purples and then I was like, I don't want to do that. So the combos in this first part of the series, as we go through each color family, are definitely beginner friendly. I already did the purple combo, so make sure you watch that. And let me know which color family you would like to see next. I'm thinking blues, we could do reds, pinks. Honestly, I'm open to anything, even browns, grays. But yeah, that is all that there is to it. So let me know what color you would like to see next. And until next time, take care. Bye now.